doubt you've seen the chaos in the streets. We must make an example, or France will fall.
The French Revolution, which began with the storming of the Bastille in 1789 in pursuit of freedom and liberty, eventually led to a state wherein 2 decades later, Napoleon would crown himself emperor. The very freedom they passionately sought for had culminated in a resolute leader to restore order.
I found the crown of France in the gutter. I picked it up with the tip of my sword and placed it atop my own head.
But this would not bring order because Napoleon himself was the product of the chaos in France rather than one who stood above it. After he crowned himself as the emperor, he began a series of what would later be called the Napoleonic Wars. His appetite for glory was one that could never be fulfilled and one that resulted in the deaths of about 3 million people. Many philosophers have written about Napoleon as he was a significant world historical figure. Nietzsche, in The Will to Power, admired Napoleon's ability to assert his will and shape history according to his vision, seeing him as a symbol of strength and ambition. He considered Napoleon as the embodiment of the Übermensch who transcended conventional structures. Similarly, Hegel admired Napoleon for his role in shaping history, viewing him as the embodiment of the world spirit or Geist in action. Napoleon's conquests and reforms were seen by Hegel as advancing historical progress. However, Arthur Schopenhauer had a very different view. He believed that Napoleon's actions exemplified the darker aspects of human nature driven by egoism and the desire for dominance. He writes, "Extraordinary powers allowed Napoleon to reveal the whole wickedness of the human will." That Napoleon, unlike many others, had the opportunity to assert power that many like to but cannot. That the chaos within the heart of man cannot be harnessed by military genius or political power. It merely found in Napoleon a larger canvas for its exploits. This is something that Napoleon seems to have understood near the end of his life. While he was finally exiled at St. Helena, Napoleon is said to have famously expressed the divinity of Jesus Christ. In doing so, he seemingly admitted that military and political power are insufficient to satisfy the heart of man. He states, "Alexander, Caesar, Charlemagne, and I myself have founded great empires. But upon what did these creations of our genius depend? Upon force. Jesus alone founded his empire upon love, and to this very day, millions will die for him. I think I understand something of human nature, and I tell you, all these were men, and I am a man. None else is like him. Jesus Christ was more than a man." Across a chasm of 1800 years, Jesus Christ makes a demand which is beyond all others difficult to satisfy. He asks for which a philosopher may often seek in vain at the hands of his friends, or a father of his children, or a bride of her spouse, or a man of her brother. He asks for the human heart. He will have it entirely to himself. He demands it unconditionally, and forthwith his demand is granted. Wonderful, in defiance of time and space, the soul of man with all its powers and faculties becomes an annexation to the empire of Christ. All who sincerely believe in him experience that remarkable supernatural love towards him. This phenomenon is unaccountable. It is altogether beyond the scope of man's creative powers. Time, the great destroyer, is powerless to extinguish the sacred flame. Time can neither exhaust its strength nor put a limit to its range. That is it which strikes me most. I have often thought of it. This is what proves to me quite convincingly the divinity of Jesus Christ.